Hi everybody, welcome back to the part 3 of this series. As mentioned before, today we will carry on with some of the sales methodologies. Uh, so let's start the first one with the order methodology. The order methodology was introduced by Mahan Khalasa and Randy Illing in the book Let's Get Real or Let's Not Play. The name of methodology comes from the first letter of all phases. The The phases are opportunity, should they do it, or should we do it? You cannot help someone succeed who has not pursued needs or wants. No pain, no gain, no opportunity. The second phase is resources, check regarding the resources. So the question here is, can they do it? The third phase is the decision. So we need to know how will the decision be made and by whom. Uh, And then afterwards, when we have all this information, we move to exact solution or enable decision, which means will they do it with us and will they do it with our solution and how can we enable the decision. And the last phase, which is very important, is the results, which means will they do more business with us. The methodology is presenting checklist on how to progress through sales process. First step is qualification of opportunity through identification of needs or wants, availability or resources, and access to decision makers and understanding of decision-making process. We will touch activities and framework for better opportunity classification a little bit later, when we are going to talk about life of a salesperson. After you have a clear understanding of the situation based on the first three phases in the process, then you can move to the second part of sales process. We are talking about pitching exact solution, and we talk about additional businesses that can be resulted based on good results of initial agreement. The second methodology that I would like to present today is MEDIC methodology. This is another methodology that covers complex sales processes. It was first coined in 1990 by Jack Napoli, John McMahon, and Dave Dunkel at Paramedic Technology, that is now called PTC. The methodology name comes from the first letters of its elements. Elements are not listed in specific orders. So you should just make sure that you got all of them, not necessarily following each step as it is listed. Since there are more definition of potential areas of exploitation inside sales process, and as mentioned before, you should really just make sure that you check all of them. So the steps are metrics. Metrics can help sales person build argumentation for its solution, his or her solution. Economic buyer, you must find out who is paying. Decision process, knowing how the decision process is set up internally at the customer helps you with adjusting your activities to it. Decision criteria, you should find out how will decision be made so that you can pitch the right thing. Identify the pain, as mentioned before, no pain, no deal. And champion, you need to know who is the person that will drag your bit inside the customer environment. So moving to each of the elements, the MEDIC matrix, the good matrix should have the following metric characteristics. It should be measurable, it should be defined in the everyday language, it should tell a story, it should have a clear result of an or of an after state comparison. We should clearly define the impact economics, and it should be champion supported or at least authorized. The economic buyer part of the MEDIC, the economic buyer is in fact the person with the authority to decide whether to purchase. So this is really important because a lot of time what happens is that we are not talking to the right person. So even though there are some so-called doormans towards the decision maker, it's really important that you find out inside the sales process who is the economic buyer and that you get the approval from him also, not only from the doorman. The decision process in the MEDIC methodology, inside the decision process, there are three important steps. One is validation. when customer technically and financially validate your chosen solution, and of course it should be yours. The approval process, which is a formal part when customers internally go through all the legal, administrative, and financial steps to get the approval. And in smaller companies, that part can be actually quicker, and sometimes there's also just one or maybe two decision-making persons inside the process. And the third part, so even if you cover both steps, there's still a chance that the customer will change its mind, especially if there is no compelling event there. Meaning the compelling event, meaning if customer why now is not strong enough. The other D in the MEDDIC methodology is the decision criteria. So if you don't know what is important for a customer in making their decision, then you don't have a very good chance to win a deal. Regarding the identification of the pain, first step in identifying pain is that customer accepts it. Usually that can be done by customers saying what are the consequences of the situation and what would be the desired outcome of solving the situation. Once you get to that point, you should also clarify if there is an urgency in solving that problem. And the champion in every process, you need somebody at the customer side to be, since there are a lot of internal activities where you will not be present, and you need somebody who will defend your side. So, regarding the buying prospects, the successful sellers are those who spend their time with prospects who will end up buying. Your time is your most valuable asset. In the next part, we are going to spend some time on exploring the problem-solving area of sales activities and how we can be more successful at it.